If you use the Yoast WordPress plugin on your website, then chances are you care about SEO. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get the most out of the Yoast plugin and how, with a little help from Google Street View Virtual Tours, you can really stand out in the local search results, regardless of the type of business that you run. In this video, we're going to take a look at some examples of what the top listings have in common, and then how to combine Google Street View with Yoast for great local results. Let's get started. To begin with, I'd like to give you a couple of examples of local search results to give you a sense of what some of the top ranking businesses seem to have in common. Now we'll start with a business that we've worked with in the past, and this is a company called Simon Hairdressing based in Southampton, one of the major cities in the UK. So what we've got here are what we now call the 3-pack listing, the local 3-pack. It used to be 7 listings here at one stage, and now it's been reduced to 3 at the time of recording this, which is early 2016. So what we want to try and do is use a couple of examples of local search terms to give us a sense of what these businesses that do get listed here have in common. And as you can see, it's quite a prominent listing. This is something that is going to draw attention from people who are on Google, so it's important to feature in these results. Now, when we click on any of these results here, or this button here for more places, it's going to take us to a listing, and I want to just show you this. So we can see now that we've clicked through, we've got the top 3 listings here, and then there are others below. So if we click on each of these listings individually, what it's going to do is it's going to show us some information related to the business, their reviews, some snippets of the reviews, and also some of the detail on those reviews further below, along with things like the address and telephone number. All very, very useful, very important information. So this is just one example. We're interested in this one here, which is Simon Hairdressing, and I want you to just pay attention to the fact that these guys here are listed number 3, and they have a Google virtual tour. They also have lots of other information, but these guys have one. Now, when we first started working with this company, they didn't appear in even the 7-pack results, and now they list at the bottom of the 3-pack. So this, whilst in itself is not necessarily proof that virtual tours make a difference, it's starting to give us an indication that they maybe play some role in the process, along with things like reviews. So you can see the top listing has 11 reviews, whereas a lot of the others don't, although some have some reviews, so it's still a bit of a mixed picture. So we want to have a look at some alternative queries to see if there's a pattern that starts to emerge. So next up, we have another local search query, a bit broader this time. We're looking at an entire county rather than a city, and these are the 3-pack results for this particular query, which is a garden centre in Hampshire. Now, there are going to be hundreds of garden centres up and down the UK, if not thousands, and certainly quite a few in Hampshire. So to appear in this 3-pack is important for the businesses. And the client that we've worked with in the past is this one here, Fairweather's Garden Centre. Now, unlike the previous 3-pack that we looked at for Southampton Hairdresser, these do all have positive reviews. So again, let's click on the more places and see if there is any other patterns that begin to emerge. So if we click on the top listing, Fairweather's, the client that we've worked with, once again, they have a virtual tour, a see inside Street View tour for the business. And they also have Google reviews up here as well. If we click on some of the others, we can also see that the number 2 listing also has a see inside tour and has reviews as well. And then if we go to the 3rd result, they don't have a virtual tour, but they do have quite a lot of reviews. So again, it's not proof in itself that these specifically make a big difference, but combined, it seems to point to certain factors influencing where businesses appear. And if we were to click on any of the others further below, we probably wouldn't see any others that have that see inside tour. This isn't a virtual tour, this is Street View for the business. As we go down, no, can't see any others towards the top of this section that have any see inside tours. So again, it's pointing to the potential for a virtual tour to be useful. So let's try one final example. So here is the final example of another local business that has featured in the 3-pack listing. Again, we're looking for those common threads. Do we see anything that stands out? So the client that we've worked with is Sandra's Florist, and the search term in this case is Florist Hampshire, which is an incredibly broad term for an individual shop across the whole of the county, and Sandra's Florist here feature at number 1. Now, the immediate thing that should stand out to you is the fact that they have more reviews than the 2 below them. So let's click on more places and see if there are any other commonalities we can see. Okay, so first up, let's click on Sandra's Florist as a listing, and as before, probably won't surprise you to see that they also have a virtual tour, a See Inside virtual tour. They also have 5 very positive reviews. Let's click down below and see if there's any other common threads. So the number 2 listing also has a See Inside tour, but they just have the 1 review. And the one below that, no See Inside virtual tour and a couple of reviews. In fact, I think they have 2 or 3 positive reviews. We click further down. None of the other listings that we can see so far have the See Inside tour. Some have positive reviews, but they don't feature as prominently as the ones that seem to have both. So again, I hope that this shows you that whilst not necessarily it predicts getting to the top of the 3-pack or even featuring in the 3-pack at all, it seems to suggest that there is a correlation between having a virtual tour and featuring in the search results in the 3-pack for a local search term. So before we go on to look at how the Yoast SEO local plugin and something like a virtual tour can really work in unison to boost your exposure in the local search results, I want to just emphasize how easy it is for any website or business owner to go onto Google and conduct this research for themselves. If you run a business that features in a local market or even a national market, this is an opportunity for you to see what are the competition doing that we're perhaps not doing, or what are they doing better than what we're doing. Try and understand what are the commonalities amongst the people who feature in the top 3 results and try and emulate them. There's a very good chance that a Google virtual tour will feature and will help, but it's easy enough to find out from just conducting your own research what are some of the threads that appear amongst the competitors that perhaps you're not necessarily doing. So next up, let's take a look at the Yoast SEO plugin, and in particular the local SEO extension within the plugin. Now, if you have this installed already, you'll find the options that I'm about to talk you through down on the bottom left-hand corner under Extensions and then Local SEO. And this is an extension to the main plugin, which gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of local search rankings. It allows you to put in lots of information related to your business that can then be populated on different pages, posts, etc. on your website with a couple of clicks. Highly recommended. Very, very good plugin to use if you're considering, or if you are a local business who wants to attract local visitors. So I'm not going to talk you through the process for installing the plugin. There's an excellent tutorial on the Yoast website showing you how to do that, and there's a link to that tutorial just below this video here. What I'm going to do is just talk you through how best to utilize this information and the plugin itself, and especially if you have or are considering a Google virtual tour for your business as well. So we've filled in all of the information for the local business. Now it's a case of making sure that information is populated on specific pages of the website. Now, what I would advocate you do is on your contact page is having a map of your local business, of where you're located. This is primarily for user experience. It's going to give people an understanding of whereabouts you're based, which is helpful for many, many reasons. But what we're also looking to do is do that, but with a slight twist, and I'll go into that in a second. So in order to use the Yoast plugin, we're going to go to the contact page. So you'll find on your WordPress website that there will be a little button here that says map. If we click on that, that's now going to give me the option of inserting a Google map wherever I choose based on the information I've already provided within the plugin. So let's say we want to come up with a roadmap. We're going to go with these dimensions, and that's really where we want to go. Now you'll see here it says show route planner. Now I'm going to come back to that in a second. I'm going to suggest you don't have that ticked, and actually that you create your own one, which I will go into in more detail in just a second. Route planning is, we suspect, very, very important in helping with your local search rankings. In particular because it allows Google to actually monitor how people are using the website and then potentially getting directions and actually going to a physical location. So think of this example. You want to find a local florist's. You find the search results, You go to the website, and then on the website, you're on your mobile phone, you look at the website, and then you click on driving directions. That driving directions then takes you into Google Maps. And because of the way these websites are connected, Google potentially has the ability to see that you've then asked for driving directions, and then depending on your phone and depending on your sat nav settings, etc., potentially could actually see you going to that local business. Now, it's a little bit Big Brother, but there is an opportunity there for you both to enhance the usability of your website, but also for Google to start to see that not only is your website popular, but people are actually physically going to that location. And I suspect that may be quite an important factor when it comes to local search exposure. So let's jump back to how we insert the Google map into the website, and then how we make that slight tweak, which is like adding a route planner, but in a way that's a little bit more conducive to helping Google see that people are coming to you. So we've selected these options. We're going to leave Show Route Planner disabled, and we're going to insert that map. Now that's going to be dependent on your own settings. As I say, different themes will be created in different ways, but whatever happens, you're going to be provided with this shortcode here. Now, because of the way our theme is set up, I'm going to copy that, delete it, and then I'm going to go into the section of our website, at least, which relates to the way the site is set up. And as I say, this is going to be different for everybody, but you'll have your own ways. And if you or your developer are able to make these changes, it should be straightforward. So I'm going to paste in the code, and then I'm going to update the page. And then if I jump back and refresh the page, I'm now going to see a Google map below the address listing. So next up, what we're going to do is look at how to create driving directions for users of a website to go to a local business. Now, rather than use my own address, I'm going to use a slightly better known one, and that's Buckingham Palace. So the way to do that is go onto Google Maps, do a search for your business. This is the listing that you'll probably see, similar sort of format. And you want to click on the Directions tab here. Once you do that, it's going to bring up effectively a blank set of driving directions with the start location empty and the destination as your business, in this case Buckingham Palace, but normally it would be your own business. So next, what you want to do is go up to the address bar and copy this address. And now what we're going to do is go back to WordPress, and below where the map is, we're going to paste these directions in. So what I've done is I've created a link up here on a page called Driving Directions, and this is that URL that I've just copy and pasted from Google Maps, but associated with this link. So now if I were to publish this page, anybody clicking on that Driving Directions link will be taken directly to Google with a blank start point and a destination of my business location. So now what we want to do is incorporate this link into our own theme. So I'm going to just go over to the text tab here, going to select all, copy that, delete it, because as part of my theme I don't want it showing here, I want it showing in the theme itself. Going to come down to the section of my theme that controls all of the information related to the contact page. Going to come up here. Now this is clearly going to be different for everybody's theme, but hopefully by the end of it you'll see the outcome that we're looking for when I come to refresh the contact page. I click refresh. Now you can clearly see we have the map showing the destination, showing the business location, and below it we have a link for driving directions that if I were to now click on that link, it's going to take me to the page that I've just created. Now if I were to do that on my mobile phone, potentially it would open up Google Maps and allow me to navigate and actually use it as a sat nav, which is ideal for Google to see that people are visiting your location, they are visiting your physical premises. So that's how you do it in terms of the contact page. The other addition to that would be to then add in your virtual tour onto your contact page. So if I jump back here, I'd also want to have my virtual tour embedded on my website using an embed code so that people can see not only where I'm based, but also they can start to see what it looks like inside the business as well. So you want to have a map to your location, you want to have driving directions straight to Google, and then in addition to that I would suggest you also embed your Google virtual tour using WordPress, and we offer a video tutorial on how to do that. If you'd like a copy, get in touch, or if you're interested in a virtual tour, also make contact. Once you've got that virtual tour, embed it onto your contact page. Now you've got literally everything a user needs to get to your business. You have a map to the location, driving directions, and then what it looks like inside the business. Now there is one other additional layer to this, which would be to create a page on your website for your virtual tour, and then to use other features of the Yoast plugin to really maximize that exposure. And that's what I'll show you next. Okay, so we're back on the contact page, and this time what I'm going to do is show you some additional features within the Yoast plugin, which will really allow you to make the virtual tour, if that's the route that you decide to go down, stand out even more. So on the tabs at the bottom, the drop downs, we want to go to the Yoast SEO plugin section. Now at the moment it's completely blank. What I would suggest you do is, in addition to embedding the tour on your contact page, I would suggest that you create a separate page just for your virtual tour within WordPress that utilizes some additional features of the Yoast plugin to really maximize the value. And the ones I'm referring to particularly are those that relate to social. Now, when the Yoast plugin first came out, if you created a title for your page and then shared that page on social media, the title that you use within the Yoast plugin would be the one that would be shared, which in this case would be fairly uninspiring: contact line visible digital. So we want to change that, and this is now the feature that you're able to use. So create your virtual tour, embed it on your website, and then once you've done that, make sure that you go into the Yoast plugin and start to change these titles and descriptions and images, so that if somebody were to come across your Google Virtual Tour page on your website, if they were to then share that on social media, the title would look much more attractive and much better. So this is really allowing you to create a title for SEO purposes, and then here it's allowing you to create a title, description and image that's ideal for social media. And that's where Yoast comes into its own, because a Google Virtual Tour is a great way to sort of raise awareness of your business, but if somebody shares that on social media, you want to make it as easy as possible for them to share it in a way that's likely to attract visitors to your website. So there you have it. Google Virtual Tours seem to make a difference when it comes to appearing in the 3-pack results. If you use the WordPress plugin, it gives you excellent opportunities to enhance the way that your website appears in local search results. And lastly, if people visit your website to share a page, let's say a virtual tour page, you can tweak and customize the settings here to make sure that that link, that share, really stands out on social media. So I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions, drop us a line at the email address below. Thanks very much.